What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another review. This time we're taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 2014. Now, I'm going to make this review as short and sweet as I possibly can. Now, this movie could have been a hell of a lot worse than what it actually was. And what I think this movie is a movie riddled with a lot of problems, but it's still surprisingly very entertaining. It gets some things, it gets some aspects of the Ninja Turtles right, and then it gets a lot of things wrong, and it takes some story cues that are really just ridiculous all the way around. But overall, I do think that the Ninja Turtles movie from 2014 is a entertaining, solid watch. So, first off the bat, I think the actors who voiced and portrayed the Ninja Turtles through motion capture, I think they all did an overall solid job. I like the bantering and chemistry with one another. I like Michelangelo in this movie. He's actually really funny. Donatello in this movie, he's his nerdy self. Leo is voiced by Johnny Knoxville, and Johnny Knoxville actually fit the role of Leonardo pretty well for this movie. He didn't ham it up. He wasn't overly stupid. He played it very straight laced, and he actually worked in the context of this movie. Johnny Knoxville was a surprise as Leonardo in this movie, and I liked Raphael in this movie. Raphael is his same angsty self. This movie, of course, this movie didn't really explore the rivalry between Leonardo and Raphael. It hints at it and says through it, but we never actually see it, which to me is a big mistake because some of the best moments in Ninja Turtles lore is the rivalry between Raph and Leo, and we don't really get that in this movie. And to me, that's a big negative because that would have actually did more to enhance the Turtles as just characters themselves. If anything, they're just okay. This movie is pretty much a copy and paste. We're going to copy what people know about the Ninja Turtles, and we're going to paste it onto this movie. So the Turtles are just presented as the personalities that we know them as. There's no really dynamic between them in terms of individual characteristics. I mean, Michelangelo does have this subplot where he's in love with April, and it's funny and it's cute. But the Turtles themselves, we don't really get the sense of their family dynamic. Like I said, the actors have a good chemistry with one another, but in terms of our writing wise, there's no dynamic of family there. Which to me, well, there is a little bit of it, but there's no individuality. Like the Raph and Leo rivalry is barely noticeable because it's not really prevalent. It's said there, and the movie teases and hints at it, but never fully explores it, which it should have, because it would have made this movie much more interesting, much more better. But it is what it is, I guess. Tony Shalhoub voices Splinter in this movie, and I think I like Tony Shalhoub as the voice of Splinter. I actually enjoyed him. He's no Kevin Clash, but in terms of all the voices that came after Kevin Clash, I think Tony Shalhoub is a much better fit for the role of Splinter, and I like it. I like how he's the sensei, how he's the father figure, and it works for me. And he does have a genuine sense of care to the Turtles, and he does view them as sons, which is what I want from my Splinter. I want the Turtles and Splinter to be viewed as one family unit. Again, I would like to see more of an exploration of that instead of the movie just doing hints and teases of it and just doing it through flashback scenes. I would like to see more of that dichotomy, which we didn't get a whole lot of. Megan Fox plays April O'Neil in this movie, and surprisingly, Megan Fox is not the worst part of this movie. She was okay. She was nothing special, but she wasn't offensively bad. Her acting is still wooden as all hell, and there are moments where she has that deer in the headlights look. But overall, I thought acting-wise, she was passable at most. The whole story of April having a connection to the Turtles themselves is just janky, very weird, very forced. We could have just kept their origins the way it was in the original movie, with just Splinter just finding these turtles in the sewer through the mutagen and then raising them as his sons. That is a more believable story than the convenience of April having Splinter and the turtles as her pets. That's just awkward. That's just a forced connection to get April and the turtles together in a way. William Fletcher plays this villain called Eric Sachs in this movie, and the character of Eric Sachs has the most convoluted and ridiculous plot. He wants to unleash this virus, and then using the mutagen that he's going to take from the Ninja Turtles, wants to develop an antibody in which the world will come to him for a cure, which would make him stupid rich. Stupid. I give Fletcher credit. He's hamming it up as the villain. He's entertaining in the role, but it's a stupid plot, And the Shredder's in this movie also, and he's just there as a background character. One of the best villains in Ninja Turtles lore is a background character. If this movie should have stuck to the idea of Eric Sachs being the Shredder, and Oroku Saki raising Eric Sachs as well. Oroku Saki in this movie, he does raise Eric Sachs as his own son, but I would have preferred if Oroku Saki passed down the mantle of Shredder to Sachs. Like, we still have Oroku Saki, who was the original Shredder, but he passed down that mantle to Eric Sachs. I think it would have made more sense than just having the Shredder appear as his own person, because he has no character, he does nothing, and the actor who plays Shredder has no personal rivalry against the Turtles, as opposed to the original movie where there was something personal there, because Shredder killed Splinter's master, and Splinter ended up scarring the Shredder. There was something personal there. He recognized how the Turtles fought because he saw it before. With this movie, it completely wipes out the interesting parts of Turtles lore, and it tries to do its own thing, and it's just lazy and just very, very hackneyed. It's nothing good. And I especially don't like how they handle the Foot Clan in this movie. I don't mind the Foot Clan using conventional weaponry, but have them show their martial arts, because at the end of the day, they're a martial arts group. They're martial arts thugs. But in this movie, they're just black ops. They pretty more as a black ops unit. I wouldn't have minded if they had some martial arts in there just to like show some remnants of what the Foot Clan is. And they're led by Karai, who is the Shredder's right hand woman, but she barely has any character in this movie. She's just there as an underling for Sax. There's no like personal connection she has. We don't know what her involvement. She's just there as like the feud leader of the Foot Clan. Doesn't really do much. Whatever. So yeah, this movie, it gets certain things right, it gets certain things wrong. Some of the things that I do like, aside from the Turtles themselves and a couple of good things they do with them, this movie does have some well integrated action sequences. The snow scene is probably the best scene. It's very, very entertaining. Some of the CGI in this movie does actually look pretty good, and the Turtles, at first glance, they seem very monstrous, but as the movie goes on, it grows on you, and it's really not that bad. The CG on the Turtles is not that bad at all. When the first teaser trailer was released, yes, the CG on the Turtles was horrible. But in this movie, it's fixed up. It looks okay. Nothing horrible. The use of practical effects in this movie is also, it's good. It's well integrated. Jonathan Liebesman, he's not the most visually gifted director of all time, but he's not a horrible director of all time either. This movie has a very, Michael Bay-ish feel since he did produce the movie. It feels like you're watching a Michael Bay movie. It has a flimsy plot just to keep you invested. It does have thinly written characters, but it does have some okay to really, really good, entertaining set pieces and moments. Now, is that enough to give this movie a high ranking? No, because I want more for a Ninja Turtles movie, i.e. the original movie from the 1990s. But this movie, yes, even though I do have a lot of problems with it, I still find it to be very, very entertaining. And the Turtles themselves do have legitimately good moments. Like I said, Michelangelo's little love thing with April is hilarious. The MC Mikey scene is really, really fun. And just other individual scenes as well, with the Turtles just being the Turtles, it's good stuff. And I do like the dichotomy with Splinter. All that is well handled against the stuff that I think was just there and could have been done so much better. But anyway, those are my thoughts on the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie from 2014. Overall, I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. It's not horrible by any stretch of the imagination. It is an overall turn your brain off and enjoy type of movie. But if you want a really good Ninja Turtles movie, look no further than the 1990s movie. But if you want an entertaining movie that's going to just kill some time, I recommend it. Because at the end of the day, it does its job. It's entertaining and it's not boring. It's okay for what it is. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment sections down below. Like the video and subscribe. Now I'll check you back next time for more.